Dhani watches a lot of television and movies. John does not. Listen in as she tells him about what she's watching, and he tries to make sense of it all. Welcome to Watching My Stories with Dhani and John.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Watching My Stories. I'm Dhani.
And I'm John.
And these are the stories I watched. That didn't work.
So we talk about it
That
like
took
every
me
week. We say,
all
oh,
week.
man, we got to think of something scripted so it doesn't
I know.
sound
That
like,
was what I came up with.
Oh. Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't think it was delivered correctly.
I don't know what you're going for, but I don't know that you hit it. So
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Well,
Back to the...
yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Anyway. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
We're back. This was a very, very slow week. I even thought, well, maybe we shouldn't do this week because there's not a lot to talk about. But as far as our Actors Corner goes, we decided to do like scary movies for Halloween next week. So I wanted to get that in. So we're going to talk about the very few things that we actually watched this week, and then we're going to get into our scary movies that we love, hate, like all that sort of stuff. So,
yeah, that was really the decision point to doing the podcast.
Yeah.
Because we're doing that. Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So we'll start off with Netflix special we watched this week. Adam Sandler, 100% Fresh.
Yep.
He's got a new stand-up special on Netflix. Came out on Tuesday.
Yep.
And
I think we watched it Tuesday, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, right away.
yes.
Boom.
And so I guess full disclosure, we're pretty huge Adam Sandler fans.
Yes.
Mine goes back to Remote Control. And I loved him on Remote Control, then on SNL, and then basically from Billy Madison on, there's no stopping. Now, there are movies I don't like of his, for sure. I mean, and there are movies I actually haven't seen of his, but for the most part, huge fan.
His movies are very hit and miss for me. I really either love them or I don't like them. Yeah. And I'm also a huge fan. Like you said, we're both huge fans. And, I love the guy, but man, some of his movies they're just not good. No, let's call it like it is. They're just not good. Right?
Yeah. That's fine.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So the stand-up special. So obviously he hasn't been doing stand-up for probably 20 years. But he went all around the country. There were a lot of times where he had his friends come on too, Rob Schneider and David Spade and Nick Swardson, and they were all touring with him as well. But the special is truly just him. There's one little piece with Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
But the special is really him. And the great thing is he hasn't lost a thing. Mm-hmm. The stand-up, the jokes are great, and then it's like a little joke for 1 or 2 minutes, and then it's a little song for 1 or 2 minutes. And the songs are what we love him for.
Yeah.
I mean, one of his albums is one of my favorites and constantly on repeat. And his song Piece of Shit Car like got me through. I know it sounds really stupid, but man, I remember listening to that on repeat, like in the late 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it got me through some stuff. And I love, love, love that song.
Yeah.
So these songs, and what we said while we were watching it was, I can't believe how funny this is, but really when you think of it, I loved his stand-up in the beginning. I loved him when he was on Remote Control. I loved him on SNL, and the humor was that. And man, when watching Billy Madison, which I can quote like the whole thing, or Happy Gilmore, that was the humor at that age, right? I mean, that was the humor we were laughing at that age. And we've grown with him in the movies where all of a sudden now I'm crying because of Blended and, the whole family.
Yes.
And it was the same thing with the comedy. The comedy now is about having kids and being married and that kind of life. And still he wove it into these songs so perfectly. A whole rap song about phone, wallet, keys, and leaving the house with your phone, wallet, keys. And it's awesome. It's just great. And some of the songs are so funny. I mean, it was probably an hour and 15 minutes. I don't even know.
Yeah, probably about that. Maybe a little longer.
my face was hurting. I was smiling and laughing the entire. I don't think I've laughed that hard in a long time. Like that hard, that consistently.
Yes.
In a long time.
Yes.
That wasn't a movie for sure.
Absolutely.
And then at the end, he does a tribute song to Chris Farley, and I was an absolute mess.
Yeah, if you don't at least tear up for that, you're dead inside.
It was just beautiful, and
it's very sweet.
Yeah, I was an absolute mess.
Very emotional.
And then he does kind of like this he redoes Growing Old with You from The Wedding Singer and kind of updates it for now being married for so long and all of that.
Well, a little bit of trivia. That song he wrote for his wife before The Wedding Singer, he changed it for The Wedding Singer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for teaching me something.
Yeah, I just happen to hear that. I happen to know that.
Okay.
Or I happen to hear that. I don't know that, but that's what he said. So.
Yeah. So I really want these songs to go onto an album so that I can have them and listen to them all the time. But I haven't heard that he's planning on doing that just yet. But maybe it's coming.
He should, because I'd buy it.
Totally.
Yeah. And here's what I like about him. So, his stand-up is different because he does a lot. It's musical. Right. A lot of it is little songs. It's not like an hour and a half of a guy standing there like a Seinfeld or something like that.
Right.
And his songs are updated. These are all new songs.
Yep.
All new little, things.
Yep.
Some of them are slightly reminiscent of songs he's done before, but these are like all new.
Yeah. Like Bar Mitzvah Boy.
Yeah.
Is now the new Hanukkah song. You know what I mean? Like his songs have become iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just feeding Roxy turkey the other day, and I'm singing turkey for you, turkey for me, and I cannot say turkey without singing the Thanksgiving song.
Yeah.
So, and then the Hanukkah song is iconic. He has updated that throughout the years, but now there's this whole new Bar Mitzvah Boy,
and they're
fantastic,
and they're good.
Yeah, they're so good.
They're not
catchy.
They're not like they're very catchy. They're right. He's really, in my mind, underrated as, I'm not going to call him a musician, but he is exceptionally musically inclined.
Oh yeah,
he can write a song that about anything and put it to a melody, and it's just it's pleasant to listen to.
I think he has 4 or 5 albums out, and then his entire 8 Crazy Nights, he did the music for that. Wedding Singer, and then of course Wedding Singer became a Broadway musical. There's a lot of talent there, but I don't think you have to be a huge fan of his to watch this special and laugh.
Right. Because
it really is just about being middle-aged, being married, having kids, and what that life entails. Yeah. And that's it. You don't really, and he's not doing his hoobity-doo, like it's not the old Adam Sandler. I know that was so bad. I'm so sorry, people.
Wow.
But it's like some people don't like that about him. You know what I mean? He's being just himself and normal, and he's grown up now.
Almost an average 51-year-old man in this.
There is a little bit of that. He does it in some of the songs, but it fits the song. So
yeah, and what's great, I think, is if you're not a Sandler fan, I think you'll still really, really like it. But if you are, it's the best of what you liked about him over the last, his stand-up career before. Right? And all the music. But it's updated for age appropriate. Yeah. Right? And all the things he's gone through as a father, growing older and that sort of stuff. And it's all just, it's so clever.
Yeah.
The way he weaves in the newer stuff, going through the his balls dropping and that sort of thing, and getting old, and going to the gym, and his having to wear different shorts and stuff like that, and at the same time still being crude and dirty at times, like you liked from before.
Right. It's
such a good mix.
It's just a great mix, and maybe it's because we've truly grown up with him. I mean, it's been a constant, and so as we grow up, he grows up, and we all come together.
And he thanks us at the end.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not us, like Dhani and I.
Right.
But in general, he thanks everybody for growing old with him. Right.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Highly recommended.
Very.
Yeah. It's on Netflix. It's called 100% Fresh. And I hope he does more, and I hope that we can see him live. So
my morning routine, right? I get up, I go do my thing in the bathroom, and then I take a shower and stuff. And I read my iPad for the first 10 minutes, right? I'm sitting there reading my iPad. And one of the places I go to is USA Today, and front page of USA Today yesterday had a review of this saying Adam Sandler is really 100% fresh, and it loved it. The critic loved it.
Right, and that's how it did feel. You know, as much as it's his same style, we haven't seen it in a long time, but the jokes are fresh.
Yes.
There wasn't a repeat of a song or a repeat of a joke.
Right.
Everything was fresh, and it just felt kind of nice seeing him up there. You know, we've seen everyone else up there for so long, and yeah, and the direction of it's really great because they basically just videotaped every city that he went to on this tour. And so they intercut all the different cities as you're watching it. Sometimes in the middle of a song, they're cutting to 3-4 different cities. So you see him in like big stadiums and you see him in little nightclubs.
You know what? I had heard that he was touring, but I didn't really think much about it. I didn't hear much about it. But some of those crowds, he was in one of the baseball stadiums and it was mostly full, if not totally full.
Yeah. That's
a huge crowd. Yeah. It was amazing.
Well, it's Adam Sandler.
I know, but you know, gosh, that's really something.
Yeah, it's really well done the way they show us that, and they go through different things, and it does appear that he did different songs in different places, and you know, according to the audience and where they were. So like the Chris Farley thing, he does in Wisconsin, where he's from.
Yeah,
and so that crowd. That helps with the emotion of it all because the crowd is so into it and just worship him so much.
And let me tell you, you know, being from Wisconsin, Chris Farley is a favored son.
Yeah.
He is just really, really big there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to cry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we highly recommend it. Definitely check it out. Netflix. It's there now. Streaming.
Yep.
Go see it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about is a movie that I watched. It's just a small little movie called Juliet Naked. And
spoiler alert, Juliet doesn't get naked.
Yeah, that was the first question he asked me. It's like, no.
That was my decision point.
So, it stars Ethan Hawke, Chris O'Dowd, and Rose Byrne. And, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, see, I like
you didn't know anything.
Well, I asked if Juliet got naked, and you said no, so I lost interest. But you should have followed up with, yeah, but there's these other, you know, these three people you really
more
like.
To it.
Well,
yeah. So it's a very tiny movie. It's set in England, and it starts out Rose Byrne and Chris O'Dowd are together. They've been together for 15 years, and they have what seems to be like a little small life in this little seaside town in England. But Chris O'Dowd is obsessed with this singer called Tucker Crow. Oh, now I do need to. Oh,
it's
I don't
okay.
have my phone.
The name's not important.
It kind of is though. But so he's obsessed with the singer who, like, I want to say back in the 90s had a few albums or whatever, and then like he disappeared, like in the middle of a set. On stage, he walked off and no one heard from him ever again. It had been like 20 years since anyone had seen him.
Wow,
so
rare.
he runs like a website about this guy, and it's Ethan Hawke, and runs this website and just obsesses over everything, has this whole room just plastered in information, and like he's got this group of people that he's always talking to on the website about where could he be, and there's been no pictures of him, you know, all that sort of stuff. Very like Eddie and the Cruisers type feeling. And so one day he gets a CD from the record label and says, hey, I thought you'd be interested in that. And it's called Juliet Naked. Well, the big album that this guy had out was Juliet. So this was like a demo CD, stripped down version, basically a naked version of these songs. Just him and the guitar, and it's more somber and all that sort of stuff. And Chris O'Dowd is like obsessed with this album. He says Juliet is the best album ever made, and you know, so now it's this demo stripped down version, and he's playing it, whatever. Well, after 15 years of this, Rose Byrne's character is pretty much like tired of it all. You know,
can't imagine why.
Yeah. So when
it's a patient wife right there.
Yeah. So when she heard this new album, this demo version, she was kind of like, it's very sad and, you know, whatever. And like they get into a fight because she doesn't agree with him. And so she commented on his website, like, you know, what she really thought. It's somber. It's not great. It's just drawn out versions of the other songs, whatever. And she posted it on his website. Well, Tucker emailed her and was like, hey, you got it exactly right, and like signed his name. And they start emailing, and she's not telling Chris O'Dowd, and they're doing like the you've got mail thing. They're telling each other things that they never have told other people and about their lives and all that sort of stuff. And at the same time, Chris O'Dowd like meets someone else at work, and he actually has an affair. So he tells Rose, and they break up. And around the same time, Ethan Hawke's like, I'm coming to England. My daughter had a baby. And so they set up time to meet. And then it's like this weird thing, because it turns out he's got like 5 kids. They all show up, and all these baby mamas, and all this sort of stuff. Typical like rock star, life or whatever. And throughout that whole thing, like they do develop a friendship. You learn about where he's been and what happened that night when he left the stage, and what he's been doing and how he's been living. And she also starts to figure out her own self and what it is that she really wants, because she had moved to this little town when her dad had gotten sick and just kind of stayed there. And so it that happens. And then there's of course the moment when they're on the beach and Chris O'Dowd comes over and it's just like, and he walks up, he's like, hey, I'm Tucker, and he's like, yeah, man, and he just starts cursing at him, like how rude, and make fun of me for, all that sort of stuff.
Wow.
But he finally comes around and realizes it. And it's still like a weird, that whole thing is kind of funny, but it's sweet. It ends up being kind of just that it's a way of telling the story of really these characters, these 2 characters who have lived such different lives and what they want out of it, and how you get stuck in ruts, whatever it might be, musically or just in life or whatever it is.
I have noticed that musically I'm stuck in a rut.
Yeah. So. I can vouch for that.
My last performance I walked out of too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, it was just it's a small little movie, and it was sweet. And, if you're in that kind of mood, it's worth watching.
Well, all 3 of those are really good actors, especially comedically. So I'm guessing there's a lot
so much a comedy.
But I'm guessing, Chris O'Dowd, there has to be humor in it. No?
It's like it's not a deep drama either. It's just yeah, I wouldn't be able to put it in either of those categories, probably. Yeah. So
since you've taken us so much of the way of the movie, can you spoil the end and tell me who ends up with Rose Byrne at the end?
Ethan Hawke.
They do get together.
Supposedly. They don't really tell us, but we assume that's the direction they're going in.
But Chris O'Dowd and Rose Byrne definitely don't.
Oh, yeah. No, they don't go back together. No,
okay. Well.
No.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, because she wanted kids and he didn't, and there was a whole, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
So on a scale, you liked it?
I did.
Okay, so on a scale of, definitely see it, catch it if you can, don't bother, where do you think you would put it for people?
So what am I rating it?
Well, I mean, so here's the thing, you can rate it 5 stars and not recommend it because it's not for everybody, right? So
I would give it probably 3.5 stars. It's one of those that I would say if you're home on the weekend and you're looking for something to watch and you're just kind of in that mood, and you have to like those 3 people, and it's on TV, I would say definitely watch it.
Okay.
If you're looking for real entertainment and so this isn't that. It's a quiet little story. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
So if you're looking for something to laugh at, it's not that.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a story of these people, and you just gotta watch that. And so it's nice. It's just that sort of it's just nice to watch those sorts of things.
Yeah, there are a lot of days I just want to laugh at people. So
right, yeah, that's not it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that.
What's up? What's up next?
Juliet Naked was that?
Juliet Naked, 3.5 stars. Juliet Naked.
Yes. So the next I thought we'd talk about Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
Here we go again.
I already have talked about this when I saw it back earlier in the summer. And actually it was a few weeks ago, whenever it was that it came out and I bought it, we watched the movie.
Yeah, it's probably almost a month now.
Yeah. So, and we forgot to ever revisit it on here. And I kind of wasn't sure I wanted to because John didn't seem as into it as I really needed him to be. But, we have learned that sometimes he needs to see things a second time for him to fall in love with it.
It turns out
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times I need to see something a second time and I feel completely different about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do need to get you to settle in and watch it again.
Well, it's well documented that my memory's faulty at the very least, but I don't remember what I could have done to give you the impression I didn't like it, because I liked it.
Because you weren't beaming the way I was beaming, and I thought you were going to be like, because to me, and honestly, I've probably watched it 10 times since then, and every time it puts me in a good mood. I love it so much because it makes me happy, and I beam because of Lily James and all the new music, and I just love it so much, and I just felt like you were kind of like, yeah, it's fine, it's cute, and it's like, no, it's awesome, and you have to love it more than that,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the pressure I'm under, people. So. Okay, let me ask a question. When was the last time I beamed about a movie? I'm not.
When you really like movies, you do beam about them.
I do, but I don't beam about very many movies.
I know, but I really did think you would on this one. I thought this one was right up your alley. That you love Lily James. That it was going to be just this bright sunshine that I feel like it is, and I really thought you were going to have that sort of reaction.
Okay. Everybody, calm down.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Eat some fruit.
Classic movie line.
Yes.
So I liked it. I think I liked it more than you think I did. I didn't beam about it, but my foot was moving the entire time, and I do enjoy watching Lily James and all the people involved.
And then Cher spills out Fernando. Come on.
That was so I'm not as enamored with Cher as a lot of people. Oh man, if you could shoot lasers, I'd be gone right now. Now, having said that,
Silkwood?
No. Having said that, right? It was obviously once she started singing, she came out and she started singing, you knew it was a movie moment. Right? So I knew that, and I appreciate that. And it was very good. That was one of the highlights of the movie. I'll give you that. Yeah, it didn't.
Didn't you cry at the end?
I teared up. Yeah, of course. But so having said that, it is a very upbeat, happy movie.
Yes.
The first, right up until that point, you're just smiling and your foot is going, and there's really not anything to not like about the movie.
Right.
And even the end, when you do tear up because of reminiscing and that sort of thing, it's still good. Mm-hmm. They're happy tears. Yeah. Right. I liked it. I give it 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
I liked it.
Okay. Good.
So.
Well, we're going to watch it again, and then we'll see what you think.
So back off me, man.
We'll see after the second time if it goes up.
And so I'm calling it now. I probably will be more into it the second time. Yeah. Because I know what's coming, and I know the songs, that sort of thing, so I'll be more into it.
You can pay attention to all the other stuff.
That seems to be how it goes for me. I don't know why.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I think I watch movies wrong.
Probably.
Well, I do everything else wrong, so why not watching movies too? So... Anyway.
Okay, so that's Mamma Mia. Here we go again. Yep. Everyone go buy it and love it.
Yeah, love it or else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Trading Places. Okay. That'll be on our Christmas show. Okay, so then now we're going to switch to TV. I don't feel like I have a lot of TV stuff to talk about that's like, network cable stuff. There are, I think in the next couple of weeks, some shows are ending, so I'll be talking about those, like The Purge and something else. Mm-hmm. And so, but I did watch a new Netflix show this week called Bodyguard. It's actually a BBC show, and so I've heard about it actually over the last couple of months because it's like a huge hit. What?
BBC.
He was like inflating with the need to get that out. So I looked at him. I was like, what is wrong? He's holding something in.
BBC. Inside joke. You'd have to know.
Oh,
sorry.
That was worth it, people. So sorry about that.
No, it wasn't. I apologize.
Okay. So this show, Bodyguard, stars Richard Madden, and most people over here probably haven't heard of him. But if you watched the Netflix movie called Ibiza with Gillian Jacobs and Vanessa Bayer and Phoebe, Two Dope Queens. Phoebe. Is it Robertson?
Yeah.
Anyway, where they all go to Spain, they go to Ibiza, and Gillian Jacobs falls in love with this DJ guy, and he was so wonderful in that. That's Richard Madden, and I completely fell in love with him at that point because he's just a super sweet dude, and like he's Scottish, and all this stuff. And I looked him up at that point, and that's when I first, I think, saw this show, and that he was getting a ton of acclaim for it over there. So anyway, so now it's on Netflix. It came out this week. It's only 6 episodes. It's the story of he's a copper. Basically,
well, he's a special agent.
No.
He's not a cop.
Yeah, he's a cop.
Okay.
He protects the Home Secretary, who is, part of their parliament. What is your...
Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it.
He's just a copper. Trust me. He says it over and over and over again.
That's a weird thing for just a cop to do. Usually they're special agents or special...
Over there? No.
Oh, once again, my ignorance of the British system gets me.
Anyway, so he is... They call it Bodyguard, but he is he's in the very beginning. He thwarts a bomb threat on a train that he's on with his kids, and he's just a cop. But he's part of a unit that has firearms training and all of that too. So they are like a little bit more than just a normal cop on the street.
Interesting.
So he thwarts that thing, and so then they determine there's this huge terrorist threat going on, so he's put on the detail to protect the Home Secretary, who's this woman Julia Montague. So it's and that's kind of it. It's 6 episodes. It's about his protection of her. It's about he was in the war. He's still struggling with a lot of PTSD issues. She's very pro-war, so it's a lot of like having to protect someone that you don't agree with politically too. She's getting a lot of threats because she's wanting to push through a bill that will allow the government to see all emails and phone communications without warrants and stuff. So a lot of people are against her for that, which heightens the level of threat against her. So it's all of that, like their communication, their relationship, the different times that they are in peril. There's a sniper scene where they're getting shot at. There's a bomb issue. And then it's about who is behind all of these attacks, and what's the whole deal. And that's the interesting part. So it goes a bunch of different ways. We don't really know who to trust. Even him at times, I was like, oh my God, he's doing this. He's the mastermind behind this, but it turned out I was wrong. So it's like you really don't know up until the very end that we find out what actually was going on and who was behind everything.
So is it over then after 6 episodes, or is there going to be a second series, as they call it, over there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
They could, like, he could go and protect someone else, and we could go through the whole thing, kind of like 24. We could do the same thing with that.
But it wouldn't be her?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, so it was good. It's, like I said, 6 episodes. Sometimes it's a little dragging. It's like, at times I wanted to, like, compare it to Luther, and Luther's just so exciting and so nonstop. This is not that. It can drag sometimes where I'm like, is this episode over? And I would look and I'm only 19 minutes in, and I was like, oh, okay. But the story is good enough to stick with it, in my opinion.
So parts of it did seem to be kind of predictable to me, right? So as they're navigating their professional relationship, right, the personal relationship that they develop, right, that seemed kind of predictable. I
don't know. It seemed weird to me. So
well, yeah, it seems very cliche to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I don't want to.
It's not a big deal of the movie though, or of the show. So
okay,
yeah, it's not really a focus. Yeah, so Bodyguard, and you will love Richard Madden. He is adorable. There are a lot of times where he reminds me of Brad Pitt in his in the way he speaks, even though this guy is a huge Scottish brogue. But just the delivery of the way they say things, and sometimes the way they look, and especially when he cries like Brad Pitt. There's a look in the eye that to me is very that honest kind of but hurt You know what I mean? Like, you know how Brad Pitt gets like that. You feel pain for him because sometimes he just seems like a little boy in his eyes, and this kid has the same thing. And so I really like him. I hope he gets a lot of stuff. I think there were rumors of him about Bond too, but I don't think that's happening. So so that was Bodyguard on Netflix. Streaming now. You can watch all episodes. And that's it for television this week. I don't have a lot else to talk about.
What's left?
Well, I was going to just say quickly.
Okay, sorry. Did I ruin it? I ruin everything.
It's pushy.
Sorry.
He has to get to Wendy's.
No.
I know what's going on.
Holy cow.
Well,
that cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. I just want to say there's another show that started yesterday on Netflix. I have started called Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's based on a comic that was based on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So I will be talking about that next week. And next week, Julia Roberts' new show Homecoming comes out. So I'll be hopefully getting through that too.
That's generating a lot of good buzz.
It was a podcast, and I didn't listen to the podcast, and now I don't want to because I don't want to ruin. Even though they said they changed the climax of the story, I just don't want to ruin anything about it. So I'm looking forward to that. That's TV. We are now going to get on with our scary movie, Halloween movie, horror movie. I don't know what we want to title it, but we're going to use the same format as our Actors Corner to talk about these scary movies in time for Halloween.
I just love hearing you say Actors Corner.
Yeah, well, it's what you named it. So I just want to preface this with, this is not like a top of all time list or anything like this. Like these are very personal to us.
Yes.
So they might not be the best movies or the scariest movies or whatever. And I do have a little list on the side I'll talk about at the end, outside of this format, but these are just ours. And and John doesn't like scary movies. So I said, John, look,
no.
If you think that Jaws is the scariest movie you've ever seen, then use, and you love it, then use Jaws. Like whatever it was that was scary to you versus what you think constitutes a scary movie. Yeah. So that's how we're basing this.
Yes, but in all seriousness, not a big fan.
No, he hates them.
I hate them.
Okay. So movie you love. Go ahead.
All right. Well, so I kind of, oh man, this was actually hard. I don't like scary movies per se.
Right.
But there are some I just have to give it up to. Because they hit it.
Okay.
And my scary ones aren't, kind of like you said, they're not the scariest of all time. But these
are the ones you love.
Of the scary movies I've seen, these are the ones I thought were either really well done or scared me the best that I enjoyed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
So I got it down to 3. I couldn't really. I mean, I do have one favorite, but I had to give like kind of honorable mention.
Okay.
Jaws.
Okay.
Is there.
Okay.
And I'm a late comer to that party.
Yeah.
I didn't see Jaws until a few years ago.
Yeah.
And that's your favorite movie of all time.
Yes.
Spoiler.
Spoiler, I talk about it all the time.
Well, okay. So my other one I got down to is Nightmare on Elm Street, which I did see. I don't think I saw it in the theater, but I saw it when it came shortly after it came out.
Right.
On
VHS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had that written down somewhere and I crossed it out because I saw that when it came out too, and I was probably 8 years old. And that was scary crap, thinking that this guy lived in my dreams.
Right.
Like, that was scary.
So part of what I love about that, why I love it, is the concept of
it.
It's a great concept. Infiltrating your dreams.
Yep.
Actually, now I think about it, I remember where I watched that. My best friend growing up, Harlan.
Yeah.
His dad, his mom and dad got divorced. His dad moved to town. I grew up in northern Wisconsin, small town. His dad moved to town and had all the movie channels. And I was over there for a weekend. And his dad was out. So it was just us, and we watched that. It was the premiere movie on HBO one night.
Right.
We watched it then.
Yeah.
And Harlan he didn't scare easy. I scare easier than anybody I know.
Yes.
And he took great pleasure in terrorizing me from the age of 6 until about 17.
Yeah.
With jump scares and all of that.
Right.
So he...
But you had to have been a teenager when this came out. Yeah,
I think
you
so.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Hated that.
It's a good one, though.
Freaking guy. Hate that guy. I love him. He's my best friend still, but...
I can still scare him coming around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
So it's fun.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful fun.
It's fun.
My number one of all time, sorry, we'll get this moving, is Paranormal Activity, the first one.
Yeah.
That to me was one of the best, most original ones. And it went downhill after that in my mind because they did okay, but they kept trying to outdo themselves. And you can't outdo the first one on this one in my mind because it was kind of so original.
Right.
Right. And it was just really well done. And it wasn't about what you
don't see anything.
It wasn't about the creature that you're seeing or, the shark or the guy in the hat with the big blades for fingers.
It was hearing footsteps coming up the stairs or a bang and you run downstairs and the chandelier is swinging.
Yeah. Or all of a sudden all the cabinet doors fly open.
Well, that was in the second one.
All right. So fine, I'll give the second one some props.
The second one was just as good in my opinion.
Well, all right, we'll give it to that.
But the first one, and then when she just stands at the side of the bed all night, and in that very end, it's still that very end when she comes up and she's carrying him and throws him at the camera. It's still one of the best, freakiest moments ever. I love it.
Look at
you got goosies.
I got goosebumps. I got goo bumps.
Goosies.
Yeah. Chill bumps.
Yeah. I actually have that under movie I secretly love.
Yeah.
And it's one that I actually, the first three I watch a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I went and saw the first one by myself, and I remember just coming home and being like, with my room right outside the stairs and all of that. It was just like, it was very creepy. It's just one of those where that it was brilliant because there were no effects and we didn't have to have them, and it worked perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah. Good one.
Props to those guys
for sure.
Yeah. So how about you?
So the ones I love, my go-to that I always say is my favorite is Scream 3.
Yep.
I love all the Scream movies. Well, not the fourth one. I love all three. They were all, especially the first one was, again, it came at a time where we were on this roller coaster of like 8, Nightmare on Elm Streets and 13 Jasons and all that stuff. And then finally we had this fresh one that was like pointing out to us, here's what a scary movie consists of, and here's who's going to die, and here's the rules that you have to live by. And it was like right in our face of like this, but it worked so well because we were scared. The reason I love Scream 3 the best is because they're making the movie. It's the movie within the movie, and they're in LA, and Patrick Dempsey's good, and TV Scott Foley ends up being the bad guy, and it's like I love the third one. I watched the third one actually quite a bit. So again, these aren't about really like they scared me the most. These are that I love them and I watch them over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's one of two. That's always my go-to. But now after this year, I think I have a new probably top favorite.
Oh man.
Yeah. A Quiet Place. It's
okay. Yeah. So I don't think of that as a horror movie or a scary movie.
You were scared to watch it. You don't? I couldn't get you to go to the theater to watch it.
I have no defense for anything I'm saying right now.
Oh, I'm so glad people can hear our conversations now, and they don't think I'm being horrible.
All right, it turns out you're right. Which you
but
always
after seeing it, you understand it's a very intense movie, but it is in that category.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just feel we'll at the end of this year we are going to go through our favorite movies of the year. This is probably going to be, if not the top, for the year for me. But now in this category, I just love it, and it's just it's just going to stay at the top of my list for a lot of things. So
that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. See where that shakes out with The Greatest Showman and all of those.
That was technically last year. Came out Christmas last year. So
when did we see it?
I saw it at Christmas last year.
Oh.
I don't remember when you saw it.
I'm just gonna stop talking now.
I'm sorry, I remember these stupid
poking
details.
a hole in everything I say.
Okay, movie you like?
Okay, so I got down to 2 on this one.
Okay.
Halloween.
The first one?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, I guess. Look, everyone, I just watched it like a month ago in preps for the new Halloween, which I still haven't seen. And I had never seen the original Halloween.
Oh my god. Hold on.
You're screwing up now.
I screwed up. I wrote Halloween. I meant Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
to finish my statement, I watched the original Halloween and it was bad and not scary.
Yes.
But
yes.
Anyway.
Sorry. Friday the 13th.
The original.
The original.
Yeah.
Yes, the very first one.
original's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. I'm actually surprised you've seen any of these, but I guess you did back then.
Yeah, only because my best friend growing up again, Harlan, said, hey, come here. Hey, let's watch this.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
I would love to have seen you reacting to these sorts
it was
of
so
I can't
awful.
get him to watch anything
it
like
was
this
so
now.
awful because both his the house he grew up in, his mom and dad's house, had this big picture window, right? Under that was a couch that I always sat in, and he'd always sit across the room on the other couch,
and he'd look
over at you, look over at me, and be like, and he'd look above me and go. Like this, and I'd be like, I'd just jump every frickin' time.
That's classic.
Oh, I hated that, especially when we were watching a Bigfoot thing or something. Anyway, so my other one is Get Out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is great.
Oh, it's an awesome movie.
I had a hard time not putting that in any of my categories, but I did have it in the honorable mention list. Yeah.
It just to me it was so original.
Yes, for sure.
That I just had to put it somewhere.
Right.
And that's why.
Which again, he was scared to watch, and it's not scary. It screws with your brain scary.
Which to me
which is scarier for me personally.
Yeah. See, that's actually scarier for me than somebody jumping out of a door,
right?
With a knife or something like that. Yeah, that's scary, but
it's not real.
Yeah, the brain stuff.
Right.
Without swearing.
Okay, so movie I like.
Fine, go ahead. It's all about you.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
I love the original. Now, this remake that came out a couple years ago, don't watch it. It's awful. But the original, I've seen numerous times, but I did see it when I was way too young, and I remember watching it with my neighbor, Lori Peterson. So I was probably somewhere around 8 or 9, and she stayed over, and in my room at the time, I had twin beds, and I had huge trees outside my window.
Oh my God, how awful.
Yeah, so I made her sleep in the bed next to the windows because I wasn't going to do it.
Sure.
And but I love it. I just love it. And it is creepy, and it is wonderful, and there's so much about it that's just the best, and it stands up today. In my opinion, you can still watch it. Like, don't watch the remake, and it stands up, no problem. Still creepy, still intense.
Yep.
Just great.
Yeah.
Okay, movies you hate.
The Grudge.
That wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
I had such high hopes for it, and I think so. To be fair to it, it's probably not as bad as I'm.
It's a remake. I think it was a Japanese remake. I'm sure the original was better. Kind of like The Ring.
Yeah. Okay. I had such high hopes for it, and it did not deliver for me.
Yeah.
There's only one scene in there that I appreciated at all, where the Grudge comes down the stairs in that creepy way, where it's just kind of crawling slowly down the
Is that
stairs.
The Grudge or The Ring?
No, that's The Grudge.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
they all run together.
I never saw
I didn't
it.
like The Ring either.
I didn't see The Ring.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, okay, so I can come up with a bunch for this. That's one I wouldn't have even thought of, but and The Ring I wasn't really into. But the ones I wrote down, Jeepers Creepers, which I know is a weird thing to come up with, but I remember being so excited to see it, and I think I watched it with my sister, and we were just both bummed because it just sucked.
Yeah.
I also wrote down Hereditary, and then I crossed it out because I was like, I've already talked about it. But the weird thing is, in looking at movies for this, I pulled up a bunch of best scary movies, and Hereditary's on all of them.
I know.
So
I saw that too.
I missed something, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I'm finding out, especially in writing this list, I'm finding out the things that scare other people are not the things that scare me. So, so then my other one that I wrote down for this that I hate is Arachnophobia.
Yeah. Okay.
Now when I saw it in the theater with my sister. I do remember just having to have my feet up on the chair. I have debilitating arachnophobia.
True story.
Now back then it wasn't as bad as it is now. So I have not been able to watch it again since then. And there's no way I could. So I'm actually very surprised I was able to watch that in the theater. But now there's no way you couldn't pay me to sit through that. I can't. So it was dumb, but whatever.
I'm uncomfortable watching you talk about it.
Yeah.
Because you're so uncomfortable talking about it.
I can't. It's just the thoughts of all of it.
Squirming all over.
Ugh. Okay. Movie you secretly love.
So So I put Shaun of the Dead. This is maybe the controversial one.
Okay.
It's considered a horror movie.
Yeah.
I appreciate it because I like those two guys.
Yeah.
They're comedy, and it's a comedy.
Yeah.
It's a horror comedy.
But it's still intense and
it's intense, and people do die.
Yeah.
And because of zombie-like things.
Yeah.
So I just really liked it, and I thought of one maybe for honorable mention somewhere that I really appreciate. Is The Nun.
You haven't seen it.
I know, but that trailer was enough with the jump scare. Oh man,
I think that's all there is to that movie. Probably it's not as good as.
Oh man, if we were doing trailers, that one that's at the top of whatever list we're doing.
Yeah, that was
because that is an amazing trailer.
Yeah. Kind of surprised like Signs and stuff hasn't made your list, but
I don't consider that. That's not a horror movie. That's not a scary movie. That's an intense drama.
Secretly Love, I already said mine was Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Embarrassed you haven't seen?
The Shining.
What?
You know this.
I can't keep track of all the movies you haven't seen.
I can't keep track of the movies I have. Yeah, you know this. We've talked about it.
That's true. I do remember talking about something, and you were like, huh? I don't know who that is. Yeah, that's weird. You need to watch it.
Well, it's also one that's going on my list with another one.
Oh. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
I've never seen the original. I haven't seen the remakes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a movie I've seen that you haven't.
Yeah.
Well, it only took 16 years in our relationship to get to that point to realize something. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, adding to your watch list.
So there's several. I wrote down The Exorcist because it's a classic. Right.
You haven't seen The Exorcist?
I haven't seen The Exorcist. Okay, so here we go. This is where I get shot with dirty looks again. So having heard and talked about this, there's now several more on this list. There's The Exorcist. Obviously The Shining, which I need to see. The Omen. Okay.
Yeah.
Poltergeist. I haven't seen Poltergeist.
But you just...
No, that was you.
But you just reacted to it like you had. I said Poltergeist. Go, oh, yeah.
No, because of
that's good.
No, because I know, because we've talked about it when it's been on, but I haven't seen it. But knowing how you feel about it, that's what I was reacting to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's several more. There's Carrie.
You haven't seen Carrie yet? Okay. You're actually willing to see these? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No.
I was so close.
No. So we'll ease into it. I will see Poltergeist probably.
Okay.
First.
Okay.
Right. I don't like scary movies, so I don't want to load up on these over a weekend. I'll need therapy or something.
I wouldn't do that. But okay.
Okay. And there was one more that I thought of, another classic that's in there. But you
haven't seen the Scream movies either, have you?
I have. I've seen two of them. I don't know which two. I think I've seen the original, and I think I saw Scream 3.
Okay.
That's the one where they're filming the movie,
and
people keep getting killed on set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Okay. I don't have anything that I thought of to add to my watch list. That doesn't mean that there aren't things.
Brilliance of having seen everything, I guess.
But I just couldn't find anything. But I do want to talk about honorable mentions, whatever it is. So sorry, everybody.
We were doing so good, too.
I know. I just want to point out what I personally think is the scariest movie I've ever seen. It doesn't make my list because it's not one that I watch over and over again because it's too freaking scary.
Oh, my God.
And that's The Exorcist. To me, that tops my list of scariest movie I've ever seen. And and here's the thing. I think I've only seen it like 3 times in my life. When I was young, and then it came back out in the theaters sometime in the last 15 years. And my sister and I went to go see it in the theater, which was great because I'd only seen it on TV, on little TV. And it just proved my point. I don't know what it is about that one for me, but it is definitely just one of those that just screws with you.
Yeah, see, here's why I have a problem with all the top lists and things, because horror and scare is very subjective. It's a very personal thing.
Yeah,
right?
I think so too. Because my thing is, on my list, it's not the Freddy Kruegers and Jasons and Halloweens and stuff. Because what does scare me more is things that can actually happen.
Yes.
So like I wrote down on here to talk about it. Silence of the Lambs, I will not watch. It scares the crap out of me because
there's a guy out there somewhere, right?
Right.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yes.
The Buffalo Bill and Hannibal Lecter and all of that, like it's too much for me to go there. It's too real. So when I'm watching, Jason happen, like that's easy for me. I don't know why, but it's just different.
Yeah.
So anyway, Exorcist could happen, and it's freaking scary.
Okay.
Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Love, and that's a scary one.
I've seen that.
The original or the one with Ryan
No,
Reynolds?
the original.
Yeah, so it's the original's great. And again, it's one of those things. It's like a haunting of a house and going crazy, and love it.
Hated it.
The Shining I wanted to mention, Carrie I wanted to mention, and one of the other ones that is one of those that I could only watch once because it just scares the crap out of me is The Strangers. With Liv Tyler and James Marsden, because that's one of my scenarios of someone knocking on my door with a mask on their face and they just torment me all night trying to get in my house. It's like The Purge. Like it scares the crap out of me. And there's a sequel now and I really want to watch it, but it scares me so bad. I don't know if I can do it, but I really do want to watch the sequel.
Funny.
And that was based on a true story, actually, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually happened to someone in the 70s. So,
well, it turns out a lot of these are rumored to be
true.
Based on actual events, like
right.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Amityville Horror. Yeah.
Oh.
Exorcist. Well, I just saw the stairs from The Exorcist in Georgetown are probably going to be declared a monument. Not a monument. What are they called? Where they're
historical.
Yeah.
Landmark.
Landmark. Thank you. Yeah. So, have you ever been to the stairs in Georgetown?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the stairs, like there's stairs in the movie.
Yeah, there's stairs in the movie in Georgetown. So Exorcist happened, and the stairs in the Georgetown. There's this. It's like a huge long staircase, and they're just there, and that's where you go. And so
okay, so they're outside.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Exterior stairs.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was thinking there's just the stairs that you go into. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of my list. I know there are a million I'm leaving out. Like I honestly kept looking for lists and things to jar my memory and make me think of movies and things that I was leaving out. I think I did the best that I could do.
And here's the hard part. These are all products. So this is a product of our time, right? The stuff you saw as a kid up to now. You go back and you think about Psycho or The Werewolf or the classics, right? From the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Right?
Which to me aren't any good, so they wouldn't make my list anyways.
I understand that, but what you have to keep in mind is for their time, those were really scary probably.
Sure, just like the original Halloween. Like I said, I watched it a month ago. To me it was boring. I didn't see any scary anything to it. I can imagine back then it was. Yes. But
that's my
right.
point.
But that's not going to make my list just because back then it happened to be.
I know. I'm not poking at your list.
Yeah, just because something's a classic doesn't mean it's the best.
Well, that's true, but just because something's a classic doesn't mean it shouldn't be on a list.
Right. Well, most of my stuff, I mean,
they're classics from your time, but take Psycho as an example. If you poll 70-year-old people, that Psycho may be the scariest movie they have ever seen. Okay. It's all relative. That was my point.
I would hope that unless they haven't seen any movies since Psycho, then they wouldn't have.
I've given up trying to make my point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Sorry we ended on a thud.
Wow. We still ended up going for an hour, even with not having much to talk about.
I gotta go.
Yeah, so that's it, everyone. This is kind of our Halloween episode, I guess.
Yep.
So have a safe and happy Halloween weekend into the week. Hope everyone has good weather for trick-or-treating.
Yep.
And I will be holed up in the back room with Roxy so she doesn't freak out.
Yeah, I haven't decided whether I'm giving out candy yet or not.
Yeah, we didn't get anyone last year, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was all set up with like $40 worth of candy and we didn't get anybody. So ended up taking it all to work.
Yeah.
As did several other people at work. So we had this mountain of candy for like 2 days because we just pigged out on it. Yeah. Pigged out on like $100 of candy for 2 days in the office.
Yeah. That satellite's a little wonky.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
What happened there? Halloween.
Don't get a Halloween satellite.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, you guys, thanks so much for listening. Please check out our website, watchingmystories.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Facebook, and please reach out and review or send questions, interact somehow. Let us know you're out there.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Your scary movie, or what do you want us to talk about, and how we're doing, and what we could do better besides all of it. Sorry.
Okay. Everyone have a great week. Until next time, I'll be watching my stories.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.